Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good this morning, y'all? This is Coffee and Sports in the Morning back again on a Wednesday morning this time. This is your host, Coach Dante, in the building. And on side of me, I got my right-hand man to my right side, my guy Mo Better, and my man down at the bottom, boy Will Morgan. How you guys doing this Wednesday morning, man?
Good morning. How you doing?
What's up, Will, Coach? What's good?
What's good, man? So
today is the day on a Wednesday.
Today is the day, man. NFL training camps, all 32 teams in training camp. Some start earlier, but this is officially the start of the football season, which we gonna get into. We got a lot of contracts to get right into. Especially Mo's segment is gonna let us know, give us the great resume of Larry Holmes, the boxer Larry Holmes, the heavyweight fighter. The one that pretty much, retired Muhammad Ali, pretty much finally gone here and put him out of misery. But other than that, we'll get more into that story. So, further ado, let's get right into the nitty gritty, guys. We got Saquon Barkley. We got Justin Herbert, who signed a massive deal yesterday. We got Diggs. We have Titus Howard from our Houston Texans. Glad they got him locked up. And we got Andrew Thomas also signed a big 5-year deal worth $17 million for the New York Giants. So, guys, tell me about this deal. Give me your initial reactions to these deals, impact that each deal might have on each team this season. Mo, I'm going to start with you early.
So the Giants deal didn't shock me at all. You want to lock that up. You want to keep that kind of talent, that kind of mainstay on your team. And it's weird, right? Because they secured him. He got his bag. And at the same time, Saquon has to come in and basically take a settled or lesser version of a deal. So I don't think it's the kind of thing that goes away. I think they're going to try to focus on football. But if you're Saquon Barkley, you're a human being. I know they talk about being professional, but you've been wanting to get paid on some level, even though you know your position is devalued. And then they just took care of this guy with no problem at all. I'm sure he's not against him getting his bag, but I think there's a frustration level that could boil over throughout the season, or at least linger. So I can understand why that could be a problem in New York. When you go to when you go to the Chargers, you're securing your franchise quarterback. You're securing your franchise quarterback. And at the same time, Justin Herbert, I think he comes into this season with a degree of pressure.
Yep.
He's been talked about with Mahomes and Burrows, but he hasn't had the success of Mahomes and Burrow. So I do think that the addition of this big contract, this being the year that he's in his career, this is one of those, I think, crossroads. Not that his career is going to end or anything, but he's been hyped up a lot. And there's been a lot of excuses made over why the team hasn't had success. And you can definitely point a finger at the coach. But talent-wise, especially on the offensive side of the ball, there's no reason that they should be as inconsistent as they have been. And to be fair, I think that does kind of start with the quarterback. So I think that is a deal that needed to get done. I understand why the Giants did what they did. It's a smart move. It's just puzzling because it came immediately after you got Saquon to basically cave and take a lesser deal.
Yep. Go ahead, Will.
The deal that shot me, yes, I'm happy that Saquon did sign. He's a good dude. I don't think he wanted to sit out. So I'm loving the fact that he did sign, even though he took less money. I don't know if I would have done it for 11 million, but I get it. He didn't want to sit out, wanted to be a good teammate. The move that's making me scratching my head is my New Orleans Saints. Why sign Jimmy Graham back? He's on the wrong side of 30. He's 36 years old. He hasn't been good since he played his last year. Well, I take that back. He was good with the Packers, so I take that back. He was decent with the Packers, but he wasn't good with the Bears. Then again, that Bears offense is in shambles. But the tight end room in New Orleans is too clustered. You got Foster Moreau, you got Juwan Johnson, the physical freak coming over from being a former receiver, transition over to tight end. That's the one that scratches my head, and I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna make the team, but like I say, he's on the wrong side of 36. And
you know what, Will? Maybe they got him there to be like the Udonis Haslam of that locker room to deal with those younger, talented tight ends and receivers. Maybe they want him to be a locker room presence.
Maybe. I don't know if I would give up money for that at that spot. Both Foster and Juwan, it's not like they're coming in as freshly made rookies. They're young, but they're not rookies. But I get that point. But I don't know if I just don't know. He might not even make the team because, like I said, 36 years old. Okay.
What's good, my boy Brandon from the block? How you doing today? He said Saquon Barkley definitely about to leave.
I wish he would have left.
Hey, it's a question that I want to ask Mo. So, if you're Saquon Barkley and you're the focal point of this offense, you're a 1,400-yard rusher. Just imagine if you're Saquon Barkley and you're in his shoes. My quarterback just got paid more than I did, and he had 5 interceptions. Granted, he did very good with not turning the ball over, but that's due to Saquon Barkley being able to run the football so effectively that kept them from doing a little more. And you see Andrew Thomas get a 5-year deal, $117 million. How would you tell me, Mo, if you're Saquon Barkley, how would you feel about those two getting big contracts and getting paid, but you got to settle for a 1-year deal?
So I think it's frustrating. It has to be. It has to be frustrating. But Andrew Thomas getting his money, I don't think Saquon, like I said, I don't think he's against his teammate. I think he understands the business of football. Yep. But like I said before, you're a human being. Yep. And at your position, I'm just talking about at his position, Saquon's, to me, now I saw a show earlier. I saw the guys yesterday. I think it was the Big Three. I think the crew was talking about the running backs, the Saquon situation. And somebody at some point said Saquon wasn't a top 10 back. He's definitely a top 10 back. He's probably a top 5 back at least.
Top 5 back. He's about top 5 back.
Well, I forgot the person, but they basically listed every running back you can think of ahead of Saquon Barkley.
You got to justify that.
And so, look, while I like Aaron Jones from the Packers, good running back, he's more like a scat back, can do a lot of things. I don't think he's a better football player than Saquon Barkley.
I don't think he is either.
You're a Saints fan. As much as I respect Alvin Kamara, I think he's better in the passing game than Saquon Barkley, but I don't think he's a better running back.
No, between the tackles, no. Hell no.
But they rated him ahead. Look, Kamara is nice, but think about it this way. You don't. It's perception versus reality. Most people don't even realize Alvin Kamara has never even rushed for 1,000 yards.
Nope.
Not once.
Nope.
He's, again, a very good player, but I don't think he's better than Saquon Barkley. Saquon has every right, coach, to be frustrated, but I think once you cave and you took that lesser deal, the best thing you can do, focus and show the Giants. I would say show the Giants what you're worth, but you know what's going to happen. If Saquon turns around, coach, and has a 1,700-yard rushing season, adds another 500 in the pass, they're just going to turn around and franchise him again.
Yep. And again, like I say, as far as their running the football, Saquon Barkley is definitely top 5. I know a lot of people saying Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, to me, he's more like an Alvin Kamara, more catch out the backfield as a receiver. More that, not between the tackles. When you're talking about between the tackles, like pure running the football. Saquon Barkley, now he can you run as a receiver. He can do both of them, but as far as running between the tackles, he's definitely a better back than Andrew Jones.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
I think they fixed the issue if you get rid of both tags and you have it to where running backs can get into their money earlier in their career.
I like
up
that.
front than later. I think that fixes a lot of issues. Because I get it. A lot of your running back longevity is what, 2-3 years at your peak. I get it, but at the same point, you got some good running backs out there that deserve to be paid. And to my knowledge, Dalvin Cook have not even signed yet. So, which is a damn shame. So, they really need to do something. And I realize you might say the game is changing, but like the fullback position is pretty much gone. But hey, listen, you gotta at some point the game is going to turn right back around to these running backs. So I really think they need to eliminate both tags, get into where they can get their money early, and go from there.
So we got Dez. So we got Dez in the building. Dez,
how you Dez?
What's up, Dez?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm good, man. I'm feeling better, man. How you guys feeling?
I'm doing good, man. So talk about it with us, man. How you doing? You got Saquon Barkley took a lesser deal, 11 mil. You got Andrew Thomas who just got paid. This morning before training camp. You got Justin Herbert just got paid. Diggs just got paid for Dallas. He just got his money. He just got his money for Dallas. Talk about it, man. And Jimmy Graham, who look talk about it, Diggs. Go ahead, talk about it.
Mo's face is priceless. I mean, we got to talk about Saquon. You guys were talking about Saquon. You got to think Saquon is the New York Giants. I mean, this guy, he provided so much spark for their offense. I mean, you look at his numbers. I mean, last year he had 10 touchdowns, 1,312 yards off 295 attempts. And then this offseason, this season, when they did the wild card, they beat the Vikings. This dude had 104 yards of 14 touches and 2 touchdowns. This guy's just an absolute beast. If I was him, I would not take that deal, though. There was rumors that the Miami Dolphins were trying to swoop in and try to get him, which, I mean, that would have been a great situation. But like Mo said, I mean, he just got franchise tagged. He's going to get tagged again, and they need to be valued the running back position because it's actually valuable in the NFL. For Justin Herbert, that's a good deal. The guy is young. In 3 seasons, he's thrown for more yards in 3 seasons. This guy is just a complete specimen, which is great. And then Diggs, this guy has the most interceptions since 2020 with 17 back-to-back Pro Bowl seasons. And his QBR rate when the quarterbacks are throwing to him is 80. It's like 84, but 64.1 completion percent rate. So he's doing pretty good there, and it helps the Cowboys because they need a great corner. And for the Giants with the offensive lineman this morning, they got signed before training camp. That just helps Daniel Jones and protects his blind side. So I think they're all great moves. And Jimmy Graham, last but not least, he's just a red zone threat. They have at least 4 tight ends already on the depth chart. So I think he's just a red zone threat, but he's 36 years old. So I think he's just going to be a red zone threat.
Yes, indeed. So we definitely training camp, like I say, starts today. A lot of teams start early at 9:00. We already had some training camps pretty much opened up beforehand, but other than that, so we switch to college. Progress. So we got NIL bills to regard NIL in college football. Is that the right solution for college football?
Repeat that again.
You say what?
Can you repeat that question again?
It's a NIL bill, NIL bill relating to NIL college football. Is it a solution? Like NIL deals, is it a solution of college football?
Let me go first.
Go ahead, Mo.
Not the bill that they're trying to introduce right now. It's not a solution. Yeah. What that bill is basically doing, it wants to publicize who's investing in these individual players, and they want to prohibit certain entities from investing in them, like casinos or gambling sites or things like of that nature. And they want to make it public. They want to let you know who is investing in them. They want to make that knowledge public, and I don't think that needs to be public. I really don't. I really don't think that needs to be public. And the way they're trying to craft the bill, at least the one that they've introduced, to where the government, again, they're trying to have another form of government oversight. And I just don't think there's a way to, I guess, oversee NIL to a degree. But what they're proposing, I just think that's more government oversight that's not necessary. I really don't think it's necessary. My guess is a coach like Nick Saban, he probably loves the idea. Because
of course he would.
Because Alabama's not king right now when it comes to recruiting, because NIL has opened up the doors for a lot more institutions to compete with them for recruiting. So I'm sure Nick Saban and some of the older coaches are all for this bill. My guess is this bill doesn't even get voted on.
Gotcha. Dez?
Yeah, I agree with Mo on this. I mean, it's just another form of government. I mean, honestly, I don't like the bill because, for one, I mean, there's not even a database for it. I mean, at all. There's no database for it. How are you going to track it? And it actually affects, like Mo said, players that have endorsement deals and recruitment. I mean, we've seen it already in how the NIL deals sway players to go to different programs, and then other programs get frustrated by losing players. So I don't think it's a good deal. I think it's just another form of government trying to control all these NIL deals. EA Sports is in a lawsuit right now because the likeness and the incentives like that. So I think they just really need to get a hold on this, or be a lot more player friendly. I mean, right now it's just, even if I was a player, I would not take this deal at all. I would not like this deal.
No way the players like this, and they try to introduce the bill as a bill that's to protect the players. It's not to protect the players at all. It's not. What it is trying to expose them, or at least shine a negative light on people that are trying to invest in them in terms of the NIL. So it's not protecting players at all. This is just another oversight or government reach that's not necessary. Again, I would be shocked if it actually gets voted on.
I agree with Mo. I agree with the sentiment that it's just big government trying to take control over something that they really have no business trying to take control of. These kids are it's total form of control over these young men and women, who I'm quite sure if they're not already approaching, they will start approaching soon if they already haven't started with the ladies. But I think it's a bad deal. I do want to say this though. If you're running, and I pose a question to everybody, if you're running back in college right now, and an NIL deal pays you more than what you can get in the NFL coming out, don't you stay in school versus going to the league?
You know what, Will? I'm with you. If you're a star running back of a big school, a national school, and you've got an NIL deal that pays you $12, $15 million, that might motivate me to stay in college a couple more years.
Yeah.
That might be the new thing. The way running backs get paid from now on, they get paid in college.
Yep.
Gotcha. So we moving on to the next one. Next topic right here. So we got oh my God. I forgot. We just talked about the man. And you know what, Will? You got on the hat. You got on the hat, the Saints hat. Mm-hmm. And it is about Jimmy Graham. So Jimmy Graham is back with the New Orleans Saints. will be 36 years old, making an impact this season. How big of an impact that Jimmy Graham will make for the New Orleans Saints? Well, I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna let you go last on here on this one. I know you're gonna have something to say up on this part. So I'm gonna start with you, Dez.
This guy is 36 years old. Nothing
That's what
about
I'm
the age
saying.
is nothing about the age, but this
Yeah.
guy is literally at in his career. I think it's one of those fairy tale endings where you know what where you started from, you go to that team. This guy, Jimmy Graham, he is a touchdown specimen in the red zone, though. I mean, in all the teams he's played for, the Saints, the Bears, the Seahawks, he's always got touchdowns. He's been hurt a little bit in the past couple seasons. But this guy is a touchdown machine. I think he's just a security blanket for Derek Carr. Because when Derek Carr was with the Raiders, he had tight ends as a security blanket. So I think it's more of a security blanket type thing, kind of coming full circle with the Saints. But the Saints have a bunch of people in their tight end room. So even if he tries to even crack, the main roster, that's the number one goal for him to try to make the main roster because they have 4 tight ends already that can really do it. So I think it's just coming full circle. But he's 36 years old. I think he's just going to get touchdowns, be the security blanket.
Mo?
I'm kind of with Will on this. I'm not sure that Jimmy Graham even makes the team. If he does, salute to him. But football, especially at the skilled positions, he's not what he wasn't what he was when he was on the Bears, the last team he was on, before he was in semi-retirement. To come back to the Saints team and expect to be a major piece to it, even as a backup, I just don't see it happening. Like, he could prove me wrong, but the idea that he's going to come in at 36 and take a roster spot from one of the younger tight ends, if that should happen, that says more about them than it does about him.
All right, go ahead, Will.
Like I said, you got Foster Moreau. Love that signing. Juwan Johnson, show what he can do last year. You got Crow, who was an undrafted rookie, and now you bring in Jeremy Shockey. It's too late. It's too late. I mean, granted, you can say he's the biggest what if player ever. If he would have stayed with the Saints instead of going through that contract dispute, trying to get paid as the receiver instead of a tight end, I believe they let you go, not because you're a bad guy, because they just don't want those distractions. So I wrong side of 36. And I hadn't even mentioned Taysom Hill. Hadn't even mentioned Taysom Hill yet. So Taysom Hill's gonna do his thing at certain packages too. So I just think it's a long shot for him to make it. Is it a good feel-good story? Yeah, particularly if you would have brought him in under a different circumstance, a 10-day contract to finish up his career. That would have been nice to see. But I just don't think he makes the team because, like, wrong side of 36, and you haven't been good since your last season in Green Bay. Let's not forget what he did in Green Bay.
He's terrible.
But he just man. I just don't see him making the team with all that talent. Saints offensively are loaded. They got some middle linebacker issues. I like to see more depth there. I like to see a little bit more depth at safety for him. But tight end is not a position of need. It was something that did not need to be addressed. And I'm saying to myself, we need middle linebackers. What y'all doing?
Gotcha.
What y'all doing?
So we had to the last topic. This is Dead's last one. And we got the over and under topics from the NFC South. It just seemed like keep coming back to you, Will, but I think you're gonna be all right. So we got the over and unders for the NFC South division. So we got the Tampa Bay. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in at 6.5 wins. 6.5 wins. No, over or under 6.5 wins for Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
You know what? They're gonna have a difficult time putting up points, And I'm not nearly the fan of Baker Mayfield that a lot of people are. I just think he's a backup that gets to start a lot, but he's not a very good backup. If your quarterback is consistently inconsistent, which is what he is, your offense is going to be consistently inconsistent. So I'm going to take the under. I think the defense will be solid, but I don't think it'll be enough to carry the offense. So I'm going to go under.
So yeah, okay. Des, what you got?
I'll go over. You know me. I'm gonna thread the needle. So I'm gonna go over. I say at least 7 wins. I'll agree with Gene on the comments section. I think 7 to 10. I think maybe, but I say 7 wins. Baker Mayfield, he's iffy. We already seen it during the little mini camps where he overthrew a bunch of receivers, throwing duck balls. I call them. But I think the defense, like Mo said, can at least help string along. They're going to be playing like the Broncos of last season. I think the defense will shine, but the offense will majorly struggle. I think their bright spot is probably Mike Evans on the offensive end. That's pretty much it, and probably their running back situation. But I say 7. That's my thing.
You know what, Des? That's actually a good comparison. I actually think their offense is going to resemble the Broncos' offense from last year, and I think Baker Mayfield will look just like Russell Wilson last year, which for Baker Mayfield is probably a good year.
Hey,
Go ahead, Will.
damn. I think they're gonna go under. I think that offense is just gonna be hard. Good defense still. There's going to be a good sound defense, but the offense is just not going to be able to produce enough points for them to get enough wins. So I'm gonna go under.
All right. So I'm gonna give it right there by 6. I'm gonna say at least right there at 6. I think I gotta see the quarterback situation not really looking good for them. I think they're gonna be competitive for as defensive side of the ball. They got a good promising back in Rashad White out of Arizona State. If y'all haven't watched Rashad White, y'all need to watch him. He's a solid running back. He's a very good running back, but I like him as well. So I'm gonna say about right there at 6 wins, potentially 7, but right there, that's why I got it at. That's why I actually got it at. So yeah, I'm gonna say right there at 6, about 6 right there. So now you got the New Orleans Saints, 9.5 wins. Mo, I'm gonna start with you since Will is a Saints fan. I'm gonna let Will go last on this one. 9.5 wins.
What's that, Jory?
Saints.
Coach, that's where I'm going to stand right there. I think they win 9 games.
Okay.
I think that division is going to be competitive, more competitive than people think. I do think it's the Saints' division to win. I think we've been consistent about that leading up to training camp. This is Derek Carr's time more than ever, right? Like, it's a quarterback-driven league. We know the potential of Bryce Young. We know what he can be. We know what Ritter wasn't, but still has potential. But right now, he's supposed to be the best quarterback in that division by far with a top 5 defense. And yet, for some reason, in my gut, I don't think they're going to win double digits. I think they're going to win. I think 9 games is about right.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Des.
I say 9 wins. I agree with Mo. I really do. I would have threaded the needle. I would have pushed back and put 8, but I say 9. This is Derek Carr's team now. I mean, you want to go to New Orleans. You want to try the gumbo. You got the offense that you wanted. I think it's his team. I just feel like Will was saying they need position needs. They didn't need more tight ends. They need middle linebackers, some more defensive guys. But I feel they're going to get 9 wins. This is their division to lose. I mean, you have a lot of young guys in your division. Bryce Young, Desmond Ritter, there's and others as well. So this is their division to lose. In the NFC, no hate on the NFC, but it's weaker than the AFC. Everybody's going to the AFC, and they're indoors, so they don't have to really worry about snow and difficult weather as well. So, and they have a great fan base. So I say 9 wins for the Saints.
From a quarterback standpoint, it's weaker by far.
Oh yeah. It's a weaker by quarterback for sure.
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna just say 10. I got them actually 10-7. I think their defense is really legit. I think that defense is legit. That defense will keep them in a lot of games. No excuses for Derek Carr. You up out of the AFC West. You come to a weaker division. You got to get the job done. Chris Olave is a 1,000-yard wide receiver. I know they're missing Alvin Kamara, but again, you got Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is a hell of a pickup in the red zone and short yardage downs. That's a hell of a pickup right there.
That's a good pickup.
I think they just got just enough to win the division and win 10 games. If they don't, it's a very disappointing. But I'm just banking on their defense. Dennis Allen, not so much of a good coach, but I think just because the Saints are a very good defensive team, they got enough pieces on the offensive side of the ball. Well, like Will mentioned, Foster Monroe is a sleeper from the Las Vegas Raiders last year. He's a sleeper going over there to the Saints. I think they got just enough. They got just enough to go at least 10-7 and be the best team in that division. So, Will, go ahead. Will, over or under 9.5 for the Saints?
Over. I think we get John. I see you in the chat, Jonathan. I see you, brother. I see you. I think we go 11-6. I really think we do. That division is ours. I'm not worried about Desmond Ridder. I'm not worried about Baker Mayfield. 11-6 is where I have us. Look, the offense should be on all cylinders just on talent alone. The offensive line has been retooled. You missing Chris Olave. That wide receiver room is just jam-packed with talent. The running back position is good. Yeah, Alvin Kamara, we might miss him for 6 games. But that's his waiting on his decision to get handed down. But Jamal Williams is going to be there. It's just going to be. I think that we should get 11 wins. If we don't get 11 wins out of that division, out of that conference, it'd be a big, huge disappointment to on my end because we got the talent to get 11, and I don't think we're better than the Eagles. I don't think we're better than the 49ers, which is a class of that division, but we can be right there. We can be right behind them. And you never know how things may work out.
Let me ask you this, Will, real quick. What season are you expecting from Michael Thomas?
It's hard to have faith in Michael Thomas. He started out well last year before he got shelved. I look at him as somebody who could be a good number 3, maybe a good number 2 receiver this year if he comes in with the right attitude and comes up somewhat healthy. Sub 1,000 yards, but I think he's up there in touchdowns. I think he'll get you about 700-800 yards receiving, be up there in touchdowns with about 8-9 touchdowns for the year. I think he'll really do well on the intermediate routes like he's been doing over his career. He's just got to come in healthy. He's got to come in focused and want to play. Because with me, when somebody comes out and say, I'm hurt all the time, and he's had time to get over that injury, particularly when he went through, he just took some time off, wanted to see if he could heal on his own. It didn't. So he had to go and he had additional surgery done. Then he comes back. Maybe he came back a little too soon, gets hurt again. It's kind of hard to say if that player wants to play for you or not, but I think he'll come back focused. I think he'll come back healthy. And again, about 700-800 yards, 8-9 touchdowns, and that's what you get out of him.
Yep. So next team we have here is we have the Atlanta Falcons. They got them at 8.5. They're really high on the Atlanta Falcons on this division. So Will, I'm gonna start with you this time. 8.5 wins for the Atlanta Falcons.
Under. I like the running game. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know what you're gonna see out of Drake London because he started out pretty well in his first season with the team. You need some kind of cool down as the season progressed. So we'll see what he does. That tight end, they need to get him back involved. They really need to get him back involved. They've spent that high round pick on him. Get him back involved. And a lot of it depends on the development of Ritter and how much you believe in that. And I don't know. That running game is going to be hellacious, though. I'll give him that. That running game is going to be hellacious. You're going to have to really stack the box to start that running game. But it's going to be under.
Des?
I'm going with faith right now. I'm going to go over. I think I'm going to go over. Desmond Ritter. Yeah, I'm going to go over. Yeah.
Y'all know
he got the first name as me, so you know what? I got to give him some props on that one. But honestly, because the fact I've seen a couple games, I've been watching some film. Like I watched film on most of these teams from last season, even college. I'm starting to watch film now because college football is coming up soon. But I mean, he has a little bit of poison swagger. Of course, there's going to be bumps on the road for sure. He is not going to be perfect. But like you said, that running game, they got to stack the box. Drake London, he has to be a little bit more focused. He has to be a
Yep.
little bit more consistently. If he does that, and Kyle Pitts, put the damn tight end involved. Excuse my French, but put him involved.
Thank
You
you.
got, you know what I'm saying? If there's a high value pick, you went and got him, use him. Because I can tell you right now, 31 other teams would have used him well. You know
Sure
what I'm saying?
would have.
He's a generational talent. Another Antonio Gates, use them. So I think Desmond Ritter's, they're going to understand that. Their coach, I know he's kind of fairly new too, but I think season 1 under his belt, season 2 now. I think they're going to be right there with the Saints, man. I mean, they'll be a little bit more
Let
competitive.
me ask you a question since we're going down this route. Do you think that defense can stop anybody?
They did load up.
Not the defensive line. Not the defensive line. They can't get to the quarterback.
The defensive line, exactly. Defensive line cannot. But they loaded up so much during this offseason, corners and everything else like that, that makes them competitive. But you need to have a defensive line, a pass rush to help your corners. So there's going to be some bumps in the road. I think everybody's really high because the fact that Desmond Ridder played those last couple of games. But like I said before, and I'm going to use an old Bronco reference, we've had quarterbacks play well last couple of games a season ago, and then the next season they were just straight up trash.
Yep.
So I mean, and they're young, so I think they go over this year. I think, but health is going to be number one. Consistency by Desmond Ridder, but that running game is going to be crazy. And put Kyle Pitts in the damn
They're
offense.
going to correct you all type of run plays.
Yeah, I like the secondary. That secondary with Jeff Okuda and AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell, I actually think he's underrated. But if that defensive line can't get home, that won't even matter. That won't even matter. That secondary
ain't gonna hold. Corners can't hold.
They did get a big signing on the defensive line, which is Will's boy. What's that? David Onyemata. That is a big loss for the Saints.
Here's the thing with Onyemata, though.
Yeah,
your best ability is your availability.
Yep, but I think the Saints are good. I think they're still good. I still like their defensive line. Other than that, but if you can't get to the quarterback, that secondary won't even matter.
Yep.
So for Drake London with the quarterback that he had with Desmond Ridder and what I keep drawing a blank on Mariota to have 860 yards, that's hella good. What the quarterback play right now, yeah, that's hella good. But
he quit on the team.
I'm gonna go 7-10. I'm gonna go 7-10. I can't see him winning. I can't see them having a winning record, but they will be more competitive because of the running game. They will be able to run the football. But go ahead, Mo.
So I'll be the odd one on this. I'm going to go under because I don't think the running game is going to be as good because nobody's going to respect the passing game. I expect most teams to walk their safeties up. I think they're going to play 8 men, maybe 9 men in the box. They're going to say, Desmond Ridder, can you beat us with your arm? And more times than not, he's going to show them he can't. I just don't, Bijan Robinson can be a special player, but I think his fate, along with the other receivers in Pitts, their fate all hinges on you're hoping Desmond Ridder takes a big leap in his development. If that happens, everything you guys said is right. But that's a big leap of faith. I don't think he's going to be that good a quarterback. And if Bijan Robinson has a 1,000-yard season, he's probably going to average under 3 yards a carry because I just don't see a lot of openings set up for him because nobody's going to respect the passing game. They're going to load up in the box and they're going to dare Ridder to beat them. I just don't think he's going to be able to consistently do that.
Gotcha. So we got the last team of this division. So we got the Carolina Panthers at 7.5. Carolina Panthers. Mo, I'm gonna start with you. Go ahead, Mo. Over or under 7.5 for Carolina?
I'm going over. I like Bryce Young. I know he's a rookie. He's gonna make rookie mistakes, but at the same time, I'm willing to bet that Bryce Young is already better than Desmond Ridder. Right now, today, he's already better than Desmond Ridder. And I like the weapons around him. The defense is solid, so I like them over. Look, if things fall the right way and they win a couple of games they shouldn't, they have a chance to challenge the Saints for the division. I still think it's the Saints division, But I think Bryce Young overall is going to have a very good, very productive rookie season.
Go ahead, Des.
I'll agree with Mo on this one. I'll agree with Mo because I was gonna say under, but I'll go with Mo on this one. The reason why Bryce Young, but their coach, I like their coach actually.
Yeah.
He's smart. I mean, look what he got in the offseason. Great defensive coordinator from the Broncos, great coordinators. They have an identity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of teams they still don't have an identity. They have an identity with Bryce Young. That's their future. That's their person that they're going with. Their wide receiver room is crazy fast. I seen on YouTube where they all worked out, and quarterbacks that are young in the league, some of them don't really take that first step of leadership and try to get in tune with their wide receivers, and they're doing that. Their defense is stout. I mean, they got some good defensive pieces. They could be a sneaky team, I think, but I say 7. He's gonna make rookie mistakes. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna probably force the ball in double coverage. We've seen it with rookie quarterbacks when they come out because the college game is different than the NFL game. It's a lot faster. And you only get 3 preseason games, so he's probably gonna play 2 of them maybe. So, and then the regular season starts. So I think 7. I think the thing for them, if they can be consistent, consistency is going to be their bigaboo. If they're consistent, they could be a sleeper team for sure.
All right, Will.
I got 7 wins too, but I am curious. I think 7 wins. I do want to see Bryce Young and my boy Terrace Marshall from LSU.
Oh yeah.
I want to see him just go off. I was a big fan of his at LSU. And I think Bryce Young is the quarterback that can get the football to him. I would love to see him go off and do his thing. They're solid defensively. They're gonna be a well-coached team. But 7 wins, I think is right for them for the first year together. But that second year on, I like the way they're built. I like the way what they did. They're taking hits throughout the season to be better in the future. Unlike what my Saints did, and I sort of kind of get it because you got to keep the fan interest up. You got to keep the fans in the stands. I get it. But at some point, when you just going to break it down and say we are rebuilding at some point. But I like the way the general direction the Panthers are going. And again, my boy Terrace Marshall, I think Bryce Young is the quarterback that can make him really shine. And I've been waiting to see him just pop off. And I think this year he might do it, but 7 wins is good for them.
I like that call, Will, because I think Bryce Young can make him pop off on called plays, but I think he also can make him pop off on the broken plays, the plays that are not really plays that just happen on the fly. I think that's when he's really going to shine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they got LaVisca Chenault too, my boy from CU. So I mean, I gotta give that dude's a speedster.
Why Jacksonville gave up on that man like that?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I don't understand. I like Chenault, man. I don't get it.
So before Des go, I'm gonna say 9-8. Second place in the division, 9-8. I think Bryce Young gonna elevate. He's got the work ethic. He's gonna elevate his teammates. Terrace Marshall should be another step up after losing DJ Moore. I'm gonna tell you guys a quick sleeper right quick. Jonathan Mingo, that rookie out of Ole Miss. That dude is pretty good. That dude is pretty good. I like the defense. The defense is good if they stay healthy. J.C. Horn, if he stays healthy, he could be a pretty good corner in this league. You have Brian Burns, one of the top. Nobody really mentions this guy. This guy's a 10.5 sack guy. Brian Burns is really good. And I think this defense is pretty solid. I did think Steve Wilkes should have stayed the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, but other than that, I kind of like Carolina. I'm gonna go 9-8 for Carolina. So
they're definitely heading in the right direction, and they're building the way you should be building. You people see, and when people see you doing things the right way, I think they'll still continue to support you as long as you're doing things the correct way toward winning. Saints are just forcing stuff. They should have been in rebuild mode, to be honest, but they're still trying to win. They still think the window was there. But I like the way that Carolina is building that team for the future.
Gotcha. So Des, before you get up out of here, let the people know where they can follow you at.
Thank you guys. Desmond 2015 234 on Instagram, and then Snapchat as well. I gotta get a new Facebook because I guess Facebook took mine down, so I had to get a new Facebook. But I'll definitely put that in the Facebook page for us as well on Sports Empire Network. You can find me on here as well. So it's been well, man. It's been well
Welcome
talking to you
back,
guys,
Des.
bro.
Welcome back,
Hey,
bro.
no doubt, man. You know they got CU football coming up. I'm covering that. They did picture day, so I'm gonna drop some videos on that. The Broncos, they got a new helmet yesterday. I like it. So
I saw it. Yeah.
it's drippy, man. I'm like, man. So and the training camp starts Friday. Well, it starts Friday here. I go to that one, so I'll definitely try to get some coverage because here in Colorado now it's like 5,000 people, and it's tickets. It's free tickets, but it's 5,000, so it's limited now. So you can't just pop up and go to training camp like everybody else. So, but it's been well, guys. It's been well.
All right, so shout out to you, Des. Thank you for coming on, and we're getting ready for our next person. During the basketball segment, we got Maria coming in the building. Maria coming in the building for the basketball segment. How you doing, Maria?
What up?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Morning.
What's going on with
Good
you?
morning.
What's going on with you? Hey, y'all need to be careful.
Nothing
Y'all
much.
need to be. I just want to let y'all know. Y'all need to be careful. Freddie in the chat somewhere. I know he lurking. Y'all be careful. He out there lurking somewhere. So when basketball come up, I just like to warn people because you know what way he gonna go. Y'all know what way he gonna go. So y'all just be careful.
I don't want to. You know what? I don't want to get to Will early this morning on this one though. But it was another signing. You did got your boy Io back. I didn't want you to touch up on that right quick before we get into the nitty gritty.
Who, me?
Yeah, Will, you got your boy Io back. I don't like it.
What? Come on, Will. That's big.
It's a good signing. It does give you a little bit of stability within the team. So it's a good signing, but it's not anything that make you go, wow. It's solid though. It's solid. I give it to him, but it ain't nothing that make it go, wow. Amazing. Ain't nothing gonna get you. But look, but to me, I'm still salty from last year because if we would have beat Miami, we could have been right there. But that's just me. But good signing. Yeah, okay, we go with it. See, they go first.
I had to do it.
They go
I had
right
a lot
there.
of enthusiasm,
I told y'all he was here. I told y'all they go right there.
I think they said G said you need to turn your mic down. I think you need to turn your mic down a little bit, just a little bit. So we get to the nitty gritty. We go Jaylen Brown. We talk about Jaylen Brown. He just got his money yesterday. Jaylen Brown got his money yesterday. So Jaylen Brown gets the bag. What does this mean for the Boston Celtics moving forward? Mo, go ahead. Tell us about it.
I think Boston did what they had to do. You don't give away two-way wings.
Oh, he said up, Will. He said up then.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mo.
You don't give away two-way wings. You don't. Not two-way wings that get better or more productive each year they're in the league. I know we talk about Jaylen Brown's struggles when he over dribbles and turns the ball over, but that's the negative. The positive is he's still an elite defender. He's still a guy that can get you 26 points a night on offense. And he and Jason Tatum, for what it's worth, they are a great tandem. I think they had to pay him because they want to run it back with the addition of Porzingis and see what happens. If things don't work out, if the Celtics come up short, with him under contract, they still have the ability, even with the trade kicker, to trade him because he's still going to have high value. It's a good move for the team and for him. I know the number is insane because I think a lot of people are thinking you hear the player Jaylen Brown, and then you hear $300 million, and you're like, is Jaylen Brown like a top 5 player? And you have to like separate yourself from that. The reality is because of the way they did the salary, he's going to make that. That's what the market is. Guess what? Next year, Jason Tatum is going to be up, and he's going to make well over $300 million himself. The real problem is going to come next season when they pay Tatum, because now you're going to have over $600 million invested in 2 players. And I don't know how your roster construction is going to look going forward. But I think this is all about running it back this year and seeing what happens.
All right, Mario.
It's basically what Mo said. I think they had to keep Tatum. I mean Brown for obvious reasons. They're close to winning the finals, and like you want to make your players happy. So I think them signing Brown was the right move. I don't think he was overpaid. I think he is worth that much money. Obviously looking at it, Jaylen Brown isn't a top 5 player in the league, but he's a detrimental piece for that Boston Celtics team. So for them to win and things like that. So yeah, I think I'm fine with the contract. I didn't see an issue with it.
The only issue you see is just the money. That's the only issue, is just the money part of things. But other than that, don't mind Boston doing that. Do what your best to keep those two guys together. They right there. They right there in the championship category. They just gotta break. They just gotta break through it. They right on point. But we'll go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but isn't that first year like 31 million? Isn't that first year like 31 million? Then it starts getting to like 55, 59, 56, things of that nature as it goes along in the contract.
Yeah, it gets crazy near the end. You're right.
I don't know, man. I just think that I agree with Mo. They want to run it back to see what they can do with Porzingis. I just think, and I get the feeling, if they don't get it done this year, if they don't even get, and I'm not even saying winning the finals, if they don't get to the finals with this squad, I just think you look to trade him. I just think you look to trade him if you don't get to the finals this year. That's a lot of salary on the books just to not make it to the finals. So I think that's their end goal. Finals or bust, whether they win or not. Finals or bust. If you don't make it to the finals, I think they look to trade him.
To be fair, though, if you look around, I'm talking about in the Eastern Conference. Look around them. Philly's in kind of disarray. That's somebody that they directly have to compete against. Miami's got this question mark. We know what they did last season, but so much was dependent on they thought they were going to be able to get Damian Lillard, and they might still be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they don't get him, and you still lost Strus, and you still lost Gabe Vincent and some other guys? Is Miami going to be in contention? Because to me, they're going to be kind of in disarray as well.
Right.
I look at the top of the Eastern Conference. I'm not judging off of last season. I'm just projecting ahead. Right now, today, Boston's main competition is a healthy Milwaukee.
Yep. And even if Damian Lillard doesn't find a way to get to Miami, I'm still trusting Miami over Philadelphia. I'm still doing that. That's what I'd give. I'm still gonna give in. That ain't nothing. But I think if you want to say Milwaukee in Boston, then you got a right to say that. But I do think for us between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I think Jason Tatum, he's the better player. He's the better talented player.
Yeah.
But I do think Jaylen Brown has more of that it factor in that one. When I'm saying he has more dog. I think Jaylen Brown has more of the dog inside of him than Jason Tatum. I do think Tatum is the best player of those two. I think he's the better player, but I do think Jaylen Brown has more of the want to and the dog inside of him. The dog inside of him than Jason Tatum. So
Like Mo said, I'm gonna need him to cut down on them turnovers, man.
Yeah, they don't got an actual point guard. They don't really got an actual point guard that they can rely on outside of Malcolm Brogdon, and he don't stay healthy. Malcolm Brogdon is not healthy all the time, so that's a lot of pressure for them, the guys, to handle the basketball the way they do. And that factors into a lot of turnovers for those guys because they got to handle it so much. They do got to handle it so much, and that's why I think losing Marcus Smart kind of will come into play a little bit. He is a ball handler. He's not a point guard, but he knows how to handle that offense. And I think that's what will probably come into play on that part right there. But Boston got their guy back. We'll see what happens with Jason Tatum. Is Jason Tatum next? We'll see what they would do out the next coming year. So we got DeMarcus Cousins. I'm gonna start with you, Will, down here. Where would DeMarcus Cousins rank among modern centers? Where does he rank among modern centers?
Are we talking about the Cousins now or the Cousins in his prime?
I'm gonna assume prime. I'm going to assume that. I'm gonna assume prime, not today. I don't think he's better than I don't think he's better today. I'm just gonna assume prime.
Where would he rank? Where would he be? In his prime, he's top 10. In his prime. People forget what he was doing when he was in his prime stages. He was scoring the basketball. He was rebounding, passing the basketball as well as any center. He was a force. And I think he would be a top 10 center if he was playing now in his prime condition.
Mari?
I think he would be top 5. Like, because after the top 2, I think it ain't really that many bigs that's like that in the league besides Embiid and Joker. So I think he could definitely crack that top 5 spot. He could.
Mo?
So because AD's kind of like a part-time center, I would have DeMarcus Cousins no worse than 3rd. I think he'd be right behind Joker and Embiid. If you're just talking about centers, in his prime, he'd be right there with them. Look, skill-wise, you could argue he's as good as they are skill-wise, but I'm just talking about in terms of the overall package. I think he would be no worse than the 3rd best center in basketball right now today. Can post you, great passer, can shoot from range, solid rebounder. My only problem with Cousins was he was never really a great leader per se, but in terms of being productive and putting up numbers, he put up as big of numbers as anybody right now in the NBA.
My only issue with Cousins is his ability to stay healthy. That would be my only issue with Cousins.
Okay, that's understandable.
That would be my only issue with Cousins is him being able to stay healthy. But top 5, top 10, yeah, easy because he was elite when healthy. He was elite.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just take him over, man. Look, take him over your boy Gobert any day.
Right, any day.
Any day.
I'm taking a lot of people over that guy.
What y'all call that? One of them players that was stuck on a bad team. That was actually a bad basketball team in Sacramento. You look at Kevin Garnett's career until he got up out of that one championship. What has Minnesota done outside of going to the Western Conference Finals one time? But after that, stuck with Minnesota, putting all them numbers. It would never get recognized when you're on the bad team. It would really never get recognized. That's why Kevin Garnett was an all-star many years. Was an all-star many years in Minnesota. But nobody actually talked about Minnesota when they were bad. You remember Paul Gasol in Memphis. Great player, but didn't get recognized because he played with Memphis. He wasn't winning games, and when he was making the playoffs, he was getting put out the first round because Memphis wasn't even good enough until he got over there with Kobe and he helped out, the Los Angeles Lakers win the title. That's when he started becoming a little bit more noticeable, a little bit more. So DeMarcus Cousins at center position, man, golly, you can argue top 5, top 3. The dude, floor spacing, post-up game was very good. Now the problem is attitude, locker room, and the only one that could able to keep him in check that he had respect for was Coach Mike Malone. Mike Malone didn't play no games with DeMarcus Cousins. Marcus Cousins already came out on it and said he was the only one. He was the only coach I kind of actually respected because he's going to tell you how he actually feels. He's going to, just like he always comes out on team on Denver when they're not playing well, he'll tell her he's not going to hesitate. He's just going to tell her how it is. And that's why DeMarcus Cousins respected Coach Mike Malone so much because he told him how it was, and he didn't play. So DeMarcus Cousins, a lot of people got to appreciate this man for what he did in Sacramento and how good he was, when he went to the Pelicans before he tore that Achilles. He was really good for the Pelicans. Before he tore his Achilles, he was actually really good. He played a good season with the Warriors in the finals. He was a part of that. So Marcus Cousins was really good when he was a superstar. He was a superstar in the league when he played at his older day, when he played at his younger days. So we pretty much got the last topic of the day right here on the morning. So Recent NBA article listed Steven Adams, Kyle Anderson, Joe Harris, Kevon Looney. You have Alex Caruso. So who is the most underrated players in the NBA? As the most underrated five players in the NBA, who would y'all put up there as an underrated five in the NBA? Who else would y'all put up there as underrated? Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead.
He's on mute, I think.
Yeah. You still muted, Mo?
I like that group right there. To me, the most underappreciated player is Looney. He does all the dirty work for Golden State, not just as a defender, but a rebounder. Like last season in the postseason, he outplayed an all NBA center. He outplayed Sabonis.
Yep.
He was the key. I know Steph made all the baskets, but all the second possessions they got. Remember, there were games, Coach, when Looney was getting double-digit rebounds and 8 or 9 assists. Like he was that essential to them winning that series. And he's been a big part of them winning championships as a role player. So to me, the most underappreciated player in that group is Kevin Looney. If you want to add another underrated player that maybe people don't appreciate on other teams, I would have said a guy like Aaron Gordon. I know we talk about Joker. I know we talk about Jamal Murray. But Aaron Gordon has turned himself into one of the top defenders in all the NBA, and he can still drop 16 points and get you 7 or 8 rebounds. I think Aaron Gordon is one of the most underappreciated players in the NBA.
Got you. Mario, who you got?
I can't think of no players right now that I feel like are underrated. So I guess I'd say Steven Adams. Agree with the list. Adams, one of the best rebounders in the league. I was obviously detrimental, was a key piece in us, getting kicked out like we did against the Lakers. So I guess I would say Adams right now. Just saying.
Will?
I like my man Nick Claxton for the Brooklyn Nets. I like him a lot. He's doing his thing, 11 points a game, getting rebounds, block shots. I like what he's doing. And I gotta go. He's not the reason why you win a game, but he produces a winning attitude, and that's Alex Caruso. He's not going to be the reason why you win a game, but he's going to be there to productivity that will help you win. So I like Alex Caruso a lot as an underrated player. Like, because again, he does all the dirty work, the small stuff. Doesn't mind playing defense. At least one of the few Bulls who played with some type of a defensive effort, because Lord knows you ain't gonna get that thing from anybody else. So I like Caruso and I like Claxton.
Yeah, I got a couple of them. I'm gonna go with my guy from across the street. Y'all, if y'all don't know that, this man was across the street from me, man. I gotta go with my guy Desmond Bain, man. My guy,
I like that one.
That's my guy right there, man. You talking about a guy that can average 20 points per game, one of the best pure shooters in the league. No, he struggled in the Lakers series, but it does happen. It does happen. You ain't gonna be hot every game, but he's also improved his ball handling, putting the ball on the floor. He's strong. He's starting to be a little aggressive going inside in the paint a little bit more. But that's my guy. Desmond Bain is my guy. I'm telling y'all, he's my guy from across the street, man, over there. He's my guy. It's my guy over there, man. And how many times I gotta say about this dude, CJ McCollum. For him to be that good, ain't making an all-star team, but that just shows you how deep the West is in guard play, actually, really. CJ McCollum is one of the quietest guys in the league. They can drop you 22 a night. He's a big help to that Portland Trailblazers team. I mean, not the Trailblazers, but the Pelicans. He was a big help to Portland and helping Damian Lillard, giving him a second option. Too bad they had to break it up because it wasn't working. But if the Pelicans can stay healthy, CJ McCollum was going to be one of the reasons why the Pelicans pop mate was going to take off. It's going to take off. And another one I'm going to go with Emmanuel Quickley. For the New York Knicks. Emmanuel Quickley almost was 6th man of the year. I think that really hurt the Knicks. Him kind of being out in that playoff series versus the Miami Heat kind of hurt him a little bit. Guy that can get to the paint, shoot the three ball really, really good. I like Emmanuel quickly. So those are the three. Those are the three I had in mind. But yeah, man, Desmond Bain is my guy. That's my dude. That's my guy right there.
Every time I see Desmond Bain, coach, I look at him and go, he could be like an NFL safety, right?
Yeah, he shot.
No, right? He looks like he
Can I ask y'all a question real quick?
Go ahead.
He's 5 years in, and a lot of times, is it room for improvement? Maybe, but when you're 5 years in, you pretty much what you are as a player. So let me ask y'all this: is Zion? Would you consider Zion a bust?
No,
not yet.
No, he's not a bust.
I would use words like disappointment, but he can't control health, right?
No.
He could be in better condition, but he's definitely not a bust because every time he's played, the guy looks dominant.
Yeah, like every time he plays, he played like an elite center.
Right.
It's just health issues. Now, Greg Oden, if you want to say Greg Oden is a bust, you can definitely say that. I'm up in that race. Someone that really ain't made too much of an impact, but every time Zion was on the court, he made at least an impact, and it just shows you how good Zion and how much he meant to the Pelicans because they were in first place before he got in when he got injured, and now they fell completely apart when he got hurt. When he got hurt, didn't come back. So yeah, he's still great, but he just got to be healthy, and he got to lose some pounds, man. You got to stop eating that gumbo out there. You got to get some pounds. You got to lose.
Andrew Faye. He needs to stop eating all that.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
It would minimize his injury. 280. He's 280. That's an down there NFL lineman. That's almost an NFL lineman.
That's too big.
Yep.
If they get him for 60 games, Pelicans gonna be one of the higher seeds in the West.
Yep.
You saw what he did in that season when he played 61 and averaged 27.
Yep. Got you. All right, so we at the last segment. We already know the last segment, Mo's Boxer segment. Mose, tell us about the great Larry Holmes.
So, Coach, you know what I'm talking about when we talk about great jabs, right?
Yes, yeah.
We know when we say great jabs, we start off with Muhammad Ali when we talk about great jabs. But maybe in terms of heavyweight fighters, the second greatest jab in the history of heavyweight boxing, I'm going to give that to Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. Larry Holmes could control every fight with his left jab. It wasn't just sharp. It wasn't just quick. It punished people. The great thing about Larry Holmes was two things. He could outbox you if you were bigger and stronger. He could outwork you if you were slower and couldn't maintain or stick up with his movement. Larry Holmes won his first 48 fights. And coach, you can appreciate this. He came up the old school way. So he's fighting bombers like Ernie Shavers, Kim Witherspoon, James Quick Tillis. He took the WBC championship, his first championship, from a great, a hard hitting, hard punching Ken Norton. You remember Ken Norton fighting that crab salad, coach?
Oh, I heard that name in a minute, man.
Yeah, he broke Ali's jaw. Muhammad Ali's jaw. He broke his jaw.
Ken Norton was a puncher.
He
was coming up old school. Remember, this is back when they fought 15-round fights. Well, so they had wars. Now, his biggest fights of note, the ones that stand out, is when he fought Jerry Cooney. And you remember this, Jerry Cooney was about 6'5", 6'6", Irishman. They were calling Jerry Cooney the Great White Hype. Jerry Cooney's cornermen were walking around with T-shirts on that said, not the white guy, but the right guy. That was their thing. And they broke protocol leading up to that fight. Larry Holmes was the champion. He was the better fighter, the more well-known fighter. Jerry Cooney got equal money for that fight, and that had never happened before.
It was weird for that time, too.
Yeah, he got equal money. And the night of the fight, when you're the champion, you're always coming out second.
He came out first, didn't he, that night?
Larry Holmes came out first, the champion. Yeah, and they did a lot of things to break protocol. I think that angered Larry Holmes. And if you saw that fight, that was nothing but pure legal torture. He, he peppered that man for 13 rounds. That man's face was beat red by the time he was done with him. And the whole time he was doing it, Larry Holmes was talking to him. He was talking to him. He dominated him. The fight was stopped in the 13th round. Larry Holmes dominated the heavyweight division, you guys. He dominated the division for 7 years. When he won the WBC title from Ken Norton, then he won the lineal championship from Terrible Tim Weatherspoon. He dominated that division, was undefeated, had total control of the heavyweight division for 7 years. He's 1 win away from tying Rocky Marciano's record of 49-0. He takes a fight against Michael Spinks. Larry Holmes enters the ring. He's a good 15 pounds overweight. That's how comfortable he felt fighting against Michael Spinks. He didn't think Michael Spinks had hurt him, could do anything to him. He was right. Michael Spinks could not hurt him, but Michael Spinks beat that man. He beat that man down. Larry Holmes' face was peppered that whole night. Michael Spinks put on a boxing show. Michael Spinks came in that fight. He didn't even weigh 200 pounds, about 190. He outquicked Larry Holmes. He outpointed him, and he won a unanimous decision. Larry Holmes was so upset that he lost that fight. In the post-fight interview, a guy brought up, I guess you're not going to tie Rocky Marciano's record. And Larry Holmes said, whether I tie it or not, Rocky Marciano can't hold my job. That statement right there, Coach, you notice that statement right there, that basically sealed Larry Holmes' fate in the rematch.
Yep.
They rematched Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks. Larry Holmes beat Michael Spinks from round 1 to round 15, and they gave Michael Spinks a split decision.
That's crazy.
It is one of the worst highway robberies in boxing history. The only time I saw Larry Holmes really challenged at the peak of his powers was when he faced Carl the Truth Williams. I don't know if you remember Carl the Truth Williams.
I know though. I think Tyson knocked him out, right?
Yeah, later on in his career. But early in his career, Carl the Truth Williams was basically a young Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes won a controversial split decision to hold on to the belt. But if you see that fight, Carl the Truth Williams dominated Larry Holmes. He dominated him.
Yep.
His fight against Ernie Shavers is considered to this day still one of the 10 greatest heavyweight fights of all time. If you've never seen Holmes versus Shavers, I advise you to go watch it because both of those guys hit the ground multiple times because all they did was drop bombs. Larry Holmes is one of the greatest fighters of all time, but I've never really been one of those guys that bought into him because he beat the guy that we would all call the greatest. And he beat him when Muhammad Ali was well past his prime. Yep. Muhammad Ali should have not taken that fight. He was 38 years old, well past his prime. His body had taken a lot of punishment. Muhammad Ali was taking thinners to lose weight. He ended up losing close to 30 pounds, came into the ring at 215. He wasn't that small. He hadn't been that small since the time he fought George Foreman. He admitted later on by losing the weight so fast, it drained him. He just couldn't. He didn't come in. He came in looking good, but he wasn't feeling good. And if you saw the fight, it was sad because in the later rounds, Larry Holmes would punch Muhammad Ali and he would turn to the ref and say, why don't you stop this? Yeah. And eventually the referee ended up stopping it. So I think Larry Holmes is one of those fighters, Coach, as great as he was, he always felt like he was in Muhammad Ali's shadow. Yeah. I always felt like he was in Muhammad Ali's shadow. But he did fight a lot of great fighters, a lot of well-known fighters. And that's an achievement to dominate the heavyweight division and control all the sanctioning belts for 7 years with that jab, with that head movement. That's why Larry Holmes is one of the all-time greats.
Got you. Great breakdown, Mo.
Good breakdown, man.
Like I say, Ali jab was the best. You had Larry Holmes, you had Lennox Lewis, jab, one of the greatest jabbers of all time as well. That dude was probably the last undisputed champion in the heavyweight division in the 2000s era coming up. Lennox Lewis definitely was one of the best top heavyweights in boxing. But Larry Holmes, tell of his career, like me and Mo said all the time, hey, you guys, sometimes boxers don't know when to stop. They go too late in their career. They just don't know where to stop. He ended up getting punished by Mike Tyson. He did outpoint Ray Mercer. He did outpoint him a younger up and coming Ray Mercy did outpoint him, but then again, I believe he got knocked out brutally by Mike Tyson. And I think as another fight that he did lose. I don't know if it's to Holyfield. I thought
he lost to Holyfield too.
Okay. He lost to Holyfield in a unanimous decision on that one. So hell of a breakdown.
Coach,
What?
His last fight. I don't know if anybody remembers this. His last fight was against Butterbean. Remember Butterbean?
Yeah, Butterbean. Yeah.
Butterbean weighed about 375. Larry Holmes came into the ring that night, and he weighed over 300 pounds himself. That fight could have been Butterbean versus Jellybean. That's what it looked like.
Hey, man, that's crazy.
Hey, appreciate
Larry Holmes was 52 years old, and like we always say about fighters, more times than not, they don't know when to stop.
Hey, real quick, I just want to say I appreciate that Ken Norton reference because I hadn't heard that name in so long. And it's like Ken was good, man. Ken was really good, so appreciate that.
Yeah, he broke Muhammad Ali's jaw and beat him. Mm-hmm. They had a rematch, and Muhammad Ali returned the favor. So other than that, great breakdown, man. Always on Mo's boxing segment, man. Always got a great boxer to come up, man. There's always a lot of boxers that's gonna be underappreciated as well. So Mo do a great job of breaking down these boxers. We'll see what he got for us tomorrow. But other than that, man, Mo, tell the people they can get you follow you at.
Right here in the Empire with you, Coach. Monday through Fridays, we're doing coffee and sports in the morning. And then I advise you guys to check out the other shows on the Empire Network. We got everything covered. Don't you guys got a basketball show coming up Friday or Saturday?
I think it's Friday. It's Friday night.
I'm going to check that out just for not just for you and Mario, but I'm going to check it out because your boy be saying some crazy stuff.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, the other guy be saying some crazy
that
stuff.
Was out of line, man.
You two got to set that guy straight because he's kind of
Rob was out of line for what he did. Talking about LeBron James, mentioning LeBron James and Muhammad Ali or something like that.
He did.
That's great. That's just great.
LeBron James and Muhammad Ali in the same sentence.
That's what he said. That's what he basically said.
God, that's travesty. Oh my
LeBron
God.
is great. I want to put it out there. We don't deny how great he is, but sometimes you can go a little too far.
That's a little too far.
He did go a little too far up on that one. And it was like, what you call, forgot who was that. I forgot who was that. I don't know if it was Cool McCain in the chat said, oh no, that was Doug say, wow, what? Doug was even shot, but that came up.
Lord.
Doug was even shot. Me and Mario just up there laughing. I was like, I'm disappointed. Doug ought to be ashamed of what you said.
He got a little bit of Freddie in him.
Yeah, he do. Hey, Freddie, you might got you a twin, man. That
boy, for real. And Freddie Packs, boy, he might be right up there with you.
That was crazy. That was
disrespectful to Muhammad Ali.
You got my boy in the chat, Brandon, laughing out. Yeah, that was something crazy. That was something crazy. He mentioned Joel Embiid in the same stratosphere as Anthony Davis. Yeah, that's I couldn't.
How?
I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. That was
do that, man. The man got wheeled out in a wheelchair. Come on now.
Yeah, Mario, tell the people they can follow you at.
Oh, TikTok, and Twitter, and my YouTube is Maria Knows Best. Yeah, that's really it.
Yep. Will?
All right, I'm in several places. This is like my second job. Monday nights, you can catch me on the Sports Report. Got a Facebook, YouTube, and a Twitch page for that. Same page on Tuesdays, Sports Report Fight Night. We talk professional wrestling. And both shows are at 10 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday morning, I'm right here with you guys, Sports Empire Network, Coffee and Sports in the morning. Thursday, I'm on Player versus Team over from the Sidelines group over there on YouTube. And then Saturday night, I'm doing my own thing, the Geek Gauntlet podcast, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We talk about anime, gaming, comics.
Check that out.
Really gonna get into comics now because I got a Superman rant I gotta do. How the hell this fool get a Susanoo? So I'm gonna be talking about that and a whole lot more. We're gonna get on that. We're gonna get on that. They giving this man too much.
Well, yeah, y'all know it ain't no introduction for me. I'm gonna be keeping up on training camp, not just on my Houston Texans today, but on all teams in the league. And don't forget, man, it's fight week this week, man. I'm covering a big fight. I'm covering
Did y'all just sign CJ Stroud?
Yeah, we signed CJ Stroud and our offensive lineman. So
okay,
offensive line guy, Titus Howard. So
okay.
yeah, it's fight week this week, man. We got the biggest fight in the heavyweight and the welterweight division, man. So I'm gonna be covering that fight on Saturday. So y'all come get your popcorn, come on out and chill, because that's gonna be a hell of a fight.
Coach, I'll be there.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mo. Errol the Spence Truth Jr. and Terrence Crawford, an undisputed welterweight title fight. I don't believe nobody's gonna get knocked out in that fight. I believe it will go to distance. But hey, it's gonna be some fireworks in that fight. And whoever win that fight could call themselves the best boxer in the world. And you got Errol Spence potentially, if he wins this fight, potentially moving up to 154 to 160 pounds, because he's that big. He's bigger than Terrence Crawford. That dude is big, way bigger than Terrence Crawford. But other than that, shout out to everybody, the whole Empire Sports Network team, my panel right here. As for Coach Dante, as for Mo, as for Mario, and as for Will, we'll see you guys later. We'll see you guys later on.
Peace, everybody.
Peace out, you guys.
Peace out, everybody. Watch out for Freddie.